podcasting from Woodstock, Georgia. Welcome to Soul Solutions, a show where we overcome our fears and our limiting beliefs. I'm your host, author, and certified life coach, Terry Kozlowski. Episode 18, How to Know the Difference Between Thankfulness, Appreciation, and Gratitude. The Thanksgiving holiday shifts our focus on looking at our lives with thankfulness. And as we enter the holiday season, many of us think of others, what our friends and family mean to us, and what ways to show them our admiration through a lovely gift. But do we realize that thankfulness, appreciation, and gratitude are slightly different? They are, and despite the subtle similarities, the differences are meaningful. We define thankful as a feeling of being pleased. To appreciate means we recognize the excellent qualities of something and see the item's value. Both terms are referring to feelings or ideas we have within ourselves. Gratitude, however, is action-oriented. It means that we show our thankfulness or indebtedness to another through our deeds, not just our words. And it isn't difficult to feel thankful or appreciative of others, especially during the holidays. But taking loving and thoughtful deeds to express our gratitude is putting our love into action. In my opinion, gratitude is a state of being because it rises up from deep within our soul. It's through our gratefulness that we can change our vibrational frequency and thus change our lives completely. Understanding thankfulness. When we say thank you, we usually receive something. Whether it's an item, an act of service, or a kind word, we are reciprocating and acknowledging receipt of a kindness. It's also commonly an automatic response to another to show our pleasure. This interaction happens quickly as society has conditioned us to be thankful. Our thankfulness is short-lived. For example, do we remember everyone who ever held a door open for us? Probably not. It's also easy to express our thankfulness to another by saying a quick thank you. It's part of the social norm in all walks of life, both in our personal and our work lives. Thankfulness is a surface-level expression of approval towards another. It's reactionary response to another's action or comment to us. It's also expressed with words only, a verbal response or a written note that illustrates how we felt about the other's kindness. Gift giving falls under this type of expression as well. Comprehending appreciation. Remember, we earlier defined appreciation as the recognition of the value of something. It also comprises enjoyment and full understanding. So now we are using our senses, the enjoyment of a warm campfire on a crisp fall evening. When we are appreciative, it benefits our soulful beings. It can occur in a moment or when we remember a time with fondness. It also doesn't require that we interact with others for the emotion to occur. It's a cognitive action, and how it affects us is meaningful. Appreciation permits us to pivot relationships, mindsets, and perceptions by allowing us to create the connections within the brain associated with interpersonal bonding and relief from stress. When we appreciate those in our lives, we build these cognitive connections, helping us to de-stress. By practicing appreciation when we're alone, we can build these links in our brains without fear of how someone will react to our self-expression. For example, we can deal with the negative Nellies of our lives by appreciating their good points. We can trigger a natural cerebral response that lowers our stress and allows us to feel kindness towards them instead of the egoic mind's angst. And over time, it lessens our natural responses to the negative person through our appreciation of them. Realizing the depths of gratitude. Thankfulness leads to appreciation, which moves us into gratitude over time. Gratefulness happens at a deeper level than the other two expressions. To show gratitude means we took action. Therefore, it's a practice, something we can and should do daily. An act of gratitude is memorable because its feeling comes from deep within ourselves, and it stays with us. To see long-term changes in our lives through our expressing gratitude, we need to understand its complexities. We express gratefulness because a deep feeling from within caused us to take action, not just once, but as a consistent part of our lives. To live with a grateful heart means we need to be aware of how others affect our lives. As a way of life, gratefulness is the manifestation of our love and dedication to those who are meaningful in our lives. It arises from our shared experiences, understanding of one another, and deep knowing that we're all connected. Therefore, it is based on relationships with others. Living from a grateful heart. As we integrate our attitude of gratitude into our lives, we begin to notice the changes it creates. Expressing our gratefulness can occur in many ways. Paying it forward is an act of gratitude because it encourages us to bless those around us when we focus on the abundance in our lives. The most powerful way to see the many blessings in our lives is to have a gratitude journal. This journal is simply a list of those things we are feeling grateful for. A cup of coffee in the morning, the time with our grandchildren, or our healthy body. As we list them, feel the emotions that rise from within our hearts. We will see changes in our nature, and others will see changes in our personality because we will look at everything in our lives through the eyes of gratitude. And what we focus on multiplies. So the more love and appreciation we see in the world, the more we receive in our own lives. A few years ago, I wanted to express my gratitude to people who profoundly affected my life in a positive way. I wrote a letter to each of them and explained how they helped me during some challenging times in my life. Their willingness to give me their love and time was significant to me, and that I had grown during that time. This was very beneficial for me to express my gratitude and then for them to understand the love that I had for them. Happiness grows from practicing gratitude. The more we practice being grateful, the happier we will feel. Positive psychology research has shown a strong correlation between those who consistently practice gratitude with greater happiness. Why? Because when we practice being grateful, we feel more positive emotions. As we have happier feelings, we are more aware and therefore enjoy our experiences more. The more we enjoy life, we become healthier, more resilient, and have better relationships. The side effects of gratitude are unlike most, as they are all positive. So why aren't we always grateful? Because the egoic mind allows fear to maintain its reign over our lives. It's afraid that if we allow ourselves to feel happy, that it will be taken away from us. Many people feel happiness is fleeting, but it's a misconception. We choose how we feel. If we aren't happy, the only person who can change how we feel is us. So why would we choose to feel anything negative? The mind wants us to be cautious, but the ego takes it to extremes. We can stop this through the practice of gratitude. This simple practice has life-altering effects because it actually rewires our brains. Moving forward with more thankfulness, appreciation, and gratitude. Again, what we focus on grows. So consciously choosing to focus on being more thankful, more appreciative, and more grateful means increasing our positive outlook on life and our happiness. My favorite quote about gratitude comes from Melody Beattie, which states, "Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger to a friend." Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. As we live a life with a grateful heart, we can retake control of our minds by focusing on the positive aspect of our lives and thus become happier. Do you need support to help you live a life with more thankfulness, appreciation, and gratitude? Do you want a strategy to help you overcome the ego's limiting beliefs and live a successful life? If so, please reach out to me at terrykozlowski.com and we can put together an action plan for you to create the life you desire.
Thanks for listening to Soul Solutions with Terry Kozlowski. If you'd like the show and want to learn more, check out terrykozlowski.com, where you can find the links to everything we talked about in this episode. Please subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode as we overcome our fears and our limiting beliefs.